nachos and plenty of nachos and cake and stuff. I don't know where they came from. We'll auction them off here in a minute. Kelly, these ain't your tennis shoes, are they? You didn't lose your tennis shoes. Daniel's, imagine that. You found two of them or just one, brother? Two? Now you got to do now is find Daniel. He doesn't run out of his shoes. He'll show up, David. He'll show up. All right, we're going to sing a couple of verses. We're going to sing a couple of verses of 522, When the Morning Comes. Y'all stand with me, because I know y'all been sitting down eating all that cake and stuff. Y'all stand with me. 522, When the Morning Comes. Miss Pam, Miss Vivian. Trials dark on every hand, and we cannot understand all the ways that God would lead us to that blessed promised land. But He'll guide us with His eye, and we'll follow till we die. We will understand it better by and by. By and by, when the morning comes, when the saints of God are gathered home, we will tell the story how we've overcome. We will understand it better by and by. Oft our cherished plans have failed, disappointments have prevailed, and we've wandered in the darkness, heavy-hearted and alone. But we're trusting in the Lord, and according to His word, we will understand it better by and by. By and by, when the morning comes, when the saints of God are gathered home, we will tell the story how we've overcome. We will understand it better by and by. So I thought I would take a minute tonight, and rather than ask, not necessarily testimony, but preacher's been with us bumping 11 years now. Something like that, I think. I think after the first of the year will be bumping 11 years. So rather, not necessarily a testimony, but when you think about Pastor Appreciation Month and you think about this guy, what comes to mind? Is there an experience or a time or an event or an accomplishment? Tammy, go ahead on. There's some recording. Another? Yeah. Someone, David. I understand. Kelly?
I can tell you my story. I worked for Brother Powell. Wait a minute there. I worked for Brother Powell way before he came here. And he was my teacher in school. I learned a lot. we worked together, and we became really good friends. And he preached all the time. Except for that time in my life, I thought I pretty much, I pretty much knew it all. I thought I did. And I told him, I was sitting in my truck, and I'll never forget it, that little Toyota truck I was sitting in, and I told him that I was good and I was self-sufficient. Buddy, he went to hammer nail me. I was self-sufficient. And I was a self-made man, and I was self-sufficient. And well, he told me how wrong I was. Brother Paul, I appreciate that, because all those events led me until, the Lord was working on me continuously through those years, and I see all this stuff happening. And in 2003, Brother David McGuffey was here, and I was working for him. And actually, Brother Paul had been down a time or two and filled in for Brother McGuffey. I gave my life.
So I never used the word good memory. I never said. I just said, "What do you think of when you think of him?" I didn't use Dunbar. I didn't use the word good memory. I just said, "No, I'm kidding." Somebody else that thinks of over the last decade. What do you think about when you think of senior pastor Paul Sutherland? I didn't know we were good at having a roast. This is turning out pretty good roast. Somebody else. So somebody else. Yes, Miss Margie. Over and over again. A bunch of us that was on the pastor search committee listened to that over and over again. Another word, David. We're glad we did that too, Dave. Absolutely. Absolutely. Someone else. Yes, Miss Amy. Yeah, we're not real excited about those kinds of visits. I know. I'm kidding, man. Someone else. What do you think about all through these years of BP as pastor? I guess for me, the biggest thing for me, I was already doing music, not doing any better now than I was then, or vice versa. But so that, not so much that, even though we've opened up a lot of doors and been able to check and adjust with the music and worship. But I guess the expo for me, we were talking about doing events. I'm trying to remember from the time that you came, had we done anything other than we always did Vacation Bible School. We'd been doing the Christmas parade, not the turkey, but we've been doing I think that was the first one that we tackled, if I'm not mistaken. Leland, did we do Team Impact or something before that, or was the expo the first thing we? Huh? Before the expo? Okay. I didn't remember that. But anyway, the expo, the challenge and the thought of doing the expo, finding those guys over at Macomb that called turkey call and owl calling guys, and had it here at the church. And on the third year, when we moved every chair, right, Leland, we built every chair we could find and then borrowed some, we decided that we was going to have to do something different after the third year. I don't remember how many chairs Mark had out, but he must have had at least 550, 600 chairs in here, I'm guessing. But I guess the Wildlife Expo and that coming about and coming together is what I think about when I, on the positive side, I was, focusing on the positive. So I'm up here until he comes up here, then he gets to take shots back at me. But somebody else, what do you think about when you think about BP? Anybody remember where that came from?
You did get started doing it, but I thought it was because we have Paul Delaney, Randy Paul Line. So what was the reason?
I don't remember. Couldn't have been. You'd have to ask somebody that's got memory, Mark or Bill or one of them that's got memory. You can't ask me. Anybody else? Yes, Miss.
For all these years in the preaching department, I certainly enjoy these preachers. And I want to continue right on as the Lord sees fit.
Yes, Miss Ed. Just say it again. There was racket. At your house? So his bull running up to him at his house. Must have been a pet. Did? Do what now? Oh, when he leaves, you got to leave. I hear you. We'll have a whole passel of them, because they'll figure their two options is to go with him or be stuck here with me. So I can understand that sentiment exactly. Anybody else? Yes. What do we do on Wednesday? Little test here. What do we do on Wednesday night with that scripture? Huh? What? Let's say it loud, Linda. Yeah, we do a little bite. On Sundays, y'all kind of eating off the whatever food's floating on the top. But on Wednesday nights, we like catfish. We dig down in that bottom and do some bottom feeding. How would we possibly have a service without some of his antidotes, right? Somebody else. Yes, Leland. I agree. I agree, Lil. So everybody doesn't get the opportunity to sit. I mean, and all y'all are welcome to the ones of us that serve as your deacons. Y'all can do that for us anytime you want to. But y'all just think we have a lot of ideas that are presented that we actually follow up with. Y'all have, can I get any amens or witnesses, all you guys scattered around? Y'all have no idea how many ideas we actually hear that never even make it out here. Lord help. Lord's blessed us with ministry opportunities. Anybody that talks about it, for me, anybody that talks about our church is always talking about all the things that we do and how we get all these folks. I mean, I know I've heard you say, BP, lots of times how many preachers will tell you, I can't get my folks to do this or that or the other. One of the things y'all, people sitting out right out here, are known for is how hard y'all work at all these ministry events. I tell you something else I think about, and I'm looking forward to. I never heard it this way. I got saved when I was 8. I never heard it this way, but I'm looking for that digital counter thing. I got a picture of it in my mind. We got one at Grand Gulf that counts lost work hours. Kelly, y'all got a display of lost since the last lost man hour event. Y'all got one of those counters? Anyway, we got one at the plant. Big digital readout, and it rolls numbers, sort of like the national debt y'all seen on TV where it's rolling numbers. So I'm looking for that big counter in heaven, right, where BP talks about some we see saved and baptized here, but some we see from a turkey giveaway at the Christmas parade, or Heaven's Gates, as the guys were talking about earlier, or maybe hopefully the expo, where folks are saved that we don't even know about in that little ticker. How many did you say it was going to be? A bunch? All right. I'm not going to drag it out, even though we've been doing this for...
I'll say something brief. I can remember the very day that we were on the way to church, and he had been cooperating here, and he said, I am not a preacher. I am not a pastor. I am not going to take that church. We were in the car, and I can remember exactly where we were and the time and everything. We were coming down here, and I turned to him and I said, Paul, Lord wants you to be a pastor, be the preacher at that church. And from that time on, when I told him that, he started thinking, well, maybe I needed to be a preacher. But right after that, he did accept the call to be the preacher at this church. But he fought it tooth and nail until that time. He was not going to be a preacher. He was not going to be a pastor. He was not going to do it. And then all of a sudden, it was like turned around, and he did accept it. But we have so many fond memories of the 10 years, and I can just, I mean, I couldn't even imagine going through them all. But starting out with the youth group and going to the Christmas parties and just various things, we've had so many blessings from being at this church, and I think this is where the Lord wanted him to be. And it blesses my heart to see how much everybody loves and appreciates him.
Y'all? Yes, Brother Albert.
Well, thank Brother Paul publicly. He has made a gigantic change in my life. Since we've been coming here, we have definitely enjoyed it. And I just want to thank him publicly.
Thank you, Brother Albert. Yes, yes. Anybody else?
He reminds me of all this that I had sometimes. He used to say, I'm often wrong, but never in doubt. You know, he's taught us so many things here, like never answer a question.
It's always a trick question, isn't it? So he is challenging in his Bible study. Let me ask two questions. Who here has been involved in churches, been involved in preachers that would go home at the end of the service, and maybe you remembered that day, but maybe by the time Monday came along, you couldn't remember what was preached on Monday. Who give me I need a show of hands. All right. So I believe everybody has to say that. Now, secondly, how many of y'all go home and say, where did he get that from? That ain't no way. No, I got to look that up. In case you hadn't figured it out after 11 years, that's part of the plan, okay? The controversy is part of the plan so that come Wednesday night, we're still thinking about David right, what we didn't. I ain't quite sure I agreed with on Sunday what he said on Wednesday night. That's part of the plan. Y'all, I'm gonna wrap this up. Y'all pray for him every day. There's stuff that worries him about all the things that are going on in y'all's lives, down to the individual. There's stuff that worries him about that. Different things that he knows y'all and knows y'all. He worries about that. He worries about things related to our church and our local area families, maybe that are that concentric circle, right? That are not necessarily in our church family, but real close because they're friends or relatives or co-workers or whatever. Y'all pray for him. A lot of stuff weighs on his mind, and he worries about what he's doing as a pastor and how he's taking care of y'all the best he can. So y'all lift him in prayer on a daily basis, okay? All right. That's all the music I'm going to do. That's all the announcements that I'm going to do. Don't forget now, we went through all that this morning, tents and candy. I really don't have to go through all this. This is not the first time we did one of these things. We need candy, and we need lots of stuff to give away, and we need booths, and we need people here to work, and we need tents. And Wednesday night, we're going to pass out. Dustin's going to take the RAs, and they're going to pass out flyers. So we need advertising, and we need cakes for the cakewalks, and we need everything that goes along with the Kids Fall Festival that we've been doing for 10 years. So y'all know what that list is. Everybody knows what these are? Right? All right. So if you have an offering, stop by up here and put it in. We're not going to take up the offering tonight, but y'all know what these. Let me ask again. Everybody knows what these are? All right. All right. BP, I'll turn it over to you.
I thought you was going to close it, brother. It's okay.
Senior, I bow to senior pastor. Closing
All right, I appreciate it. First, I appreciate there's somebody want to call and say something about Brother Paul. That's somebody on the radio that hears it. I appreciate you coming out tonight and enjoying the cake and all those that took the extra effort to put our little party on. It's wonderful to be here and part of your church, our church. I didn't want to come. My wife is true, telling you the whole truth, nothing but the truth. I didn't want to come, wasn't going to come. Then made up my mind not to come. And the Lord saw fit to break my will and allow me to follow His. That's a God thing. We've seen a lot. We've seen a lot in our church. We've seen a church become outgoing for the Lord through our ministries here together. We've
For sure, my brain ain't dead. I still got lots of ideas and things that we ain't done yet. They come to me about every other day, and I have to rationalize them in my mind to see if we could pull it off. But we still got to reach out to a lost and dying world in a different way than what churches are today doing. And I do appreciate you folks and your support. Please do, like Brother Bruce said, please pray for me and my wife every day, because it is a struggle. It's a spiritual struggle in dealing with the forces of evil and darkness that we have to deal with on a daily basis. We only, one of the things that y'all don't know about, you're not as familiar with, we have people on the inside of the church, but since we have a radio ministry, there are a lot of people on the outside of the church that think that I'm the only preacher that they know. And I get calls and direction and letters and notes and all kinds of things from folks on the outside of the church that never grace the doors of our church. And so there's a whole lot to being a preacher, especially a preacher on the radio. But if the Lord wills, I'm going to follow His will until He takes me away from here. And if we're going to do the things that He asks us to do. We're going to try to preach the Word boldly and try to reach out and love people in the only way that I know how. When we have a problem, one thing that I can tell y'all about this church that you may not know, when I came to this church from country churches, a little bit different. I tell this to a lot of people, a little bit different in country churches. Out there in the country, got your own little settlements, and there's just a lot different culture in a country church. But when I came to town, and I got to see the lights and all the things that go on in town, when you came into a town church, it's a whole lot more you can see. I don't know why, but it's a whole lot more you can see in town church. Seems like a whole lot more problems that you have to deal with. And I pray the Lord that I have seen it all, but I'm sure I hadn't. I'm sure the deacons are in agreement, because they'd never seen it either before, right, brothers? They'd never seen all of the things that go on. I don't know what it is about the Lord and our ministry, why it is so open, and people feel so open to just to let it all hang out. I don't know why that is, but it is that way, and that's the way God wants it. And I praise God that we've had the opportunities to learn together how to serve Him in a way that makes people feel comfortable, and to bring Him praise and honor. I appreciate you so much. You don't know how much I appreciate you. Like I say, we got a lot more to do, a lot more people to reach. The counter's working. And I can't wait to get there one day. And you think I'm kidding, but when we get there, we'll know how many of those people that we touched through our ministries out there that we didn't even see in the church, that we touched their hearts and they went on to become believers because of some of our ministries. That's why we work hard to do it. And Brother Bruce touched on something tonight. Y'all don't hear this all the time, but the last time was at the last Associational Executive Committee meeting. One of our fellow pastors got up and said in front of the whole group, First Church, Parkway, all of them, said, sitting right beside a fellow right here, if y'all could get your people to work half as hard as his people do, we'd change the world from Natchez. And that's what he said in front of all of them. He said, those people will work their fingers to the bone for the cause of Christ in Highland Baptist Church. Now, we are making a difference in this community. And we are making a difference for the Lord through this church. And all we got to do is keep on doing it and let Him receive the glory and the rewards of service from the Lord will be more than you can stand when we get to glory. When we get to glory. We're going to close tonight. We appreciate you being here. Again, I love you. Appreciate you, each and every one being a part